Okay, got a bit of a quick 1v1 today. I'm playing as the Dwarves and I am against BRETONNIA. We're on Morbad's tomb. And in all honesty, I was a little bit apprehensive about facing BRETONNIA as the Dwarves. As in my experience, I found that you can just charge loads of cavalry through the Dwarves and it'll really mess them up. And given that BRETONNIA have great cavalry, I was a little bit worried. But I thought I'd have a crack. So this map's pretty cool. It's got these little hills in it, which gives it kind of a strategic element. There's loads of them throughout the map, all the way down the middle of the map, basically. And then you got a giant skull as well, because no map is complete without a giant skull. So I'm using one of these little mounds to my advantage, using it to kind of protect my flank, sort of. I brought 4 units of Longbeards, the non-great weapon variety. Oh, look how happy this one is. Yeah, I'm a dwarf. Anyway, I put these 3 out front because they have a charge defense. So I thought if the enemy should happen to charge me from the front with his horses, I'm going to be well protected. And then I've got 2 units of the great weapon variety. These 2 are mainly to cut the enemy down, basically, or their infantry. I was going to bring hammerers, but I thought that's just overkill. I don't need that kind of power because they don't really have great infantry. So 2 units of Longbeards with great weapons should sort them out a treat. Now, in the centre of all this, I have some Quarrelers. These are my ranged unit. I bought the ones with great weapons. I'm not really sure why now thinking about it. Probably should have just brought the regular ones. In the trees over here, I've got another unit of Longbeards. They've got the charge defense, so they're kind of protecting the flank a little bit. And hidden away in the trees over here, I've got a unit of Slayers. I've heard people say bad things about Slayers and say they're a bit useless. But I thought I'd give them a go. Leave some Ginger Doom hidden away in the trees. So we'll see how they do. I've also got a Grudge Thrower. Don't really know why. I just wanted to try out some artillery because I haven't played the Dwarves a ton, in all honesty. I also brought a Organ Gun along. I've actually found this thing pretty useful, although I've placed it terribly because it's obstructed apparently. But yeah, I found the Organ Gun pretty effective against horses and fast moving units, flying units as well. Got a gyrocopter with a brimstone gun. That's another anti-large thing, so that is my army. My enemy has brought 4 units of peasant bowmen, which seems an awful lot for a non-armor piercing unit. And then he's got a mixture of his spearmen, spearmen at arms, men at arms. So that's all his foot soldiers. Then 2 units of Pegasus Knights and Leoncoeur on a flying thing. And then all the way on the other side, on the other flank, he's got 2 units of Grail Knights and a unit of Knights of the Realm. So these are the danger. These are the things I need to look out for. The big horsey men with pointy sticks. Because they are a danger to my poor dwarven faces. Okay. So the battle is beginning. He's marching up. I've got the artillery advantage, so he kind of has to come and press on me. So just trying to do a bit of damage with the artillery on the way in. Oh, I've also got Thane and Ungrim. 2 characters. I forgot to mention them. Now, I thought he was just going to come and skirmish me here. Just bring his bowman up and start firing on me. So I brought my crossbows up to meet him in that engagement. I'm keeping an eye out for the cavalry on the right hand side, just in case they come round. I've got my organ gun firing on the Pegasus Knights, trying to do as much damage to them as possible because they're a pretty dangerous unit. The skirmish fight is about to begin, and in all honesty, Quarrelers every day of the week will take out most other skirmisher units. Because they have so much armor, they're so hard to bring down. You really have to focus fire heavily to get rid of them quickly. Especially against peasant bowmen who don't really have much armor at all, so that's a fight he's not going to win. And he's probably brought too many skirmisher units, to be honest. 4 bowman units, which aren't armor piercing, are not going to do a great deal against the dwarves. So maybe just 2 units and then buy some extra spearmen or something would have been a better call. His cavalry seems to be creeping nearer and nearer to me. Like every time I look away and look back, he's a little bit closer every time. I've still got the Slayers hidden in the trees though, so I don't think he's seen them yet. The Pegasus Knights and Leoncoeur are on the way in, and things are looking bleak for my brimstone gun. He's about to get thoroughly destroyed. Still got my organ gun firing though, so that's going to do a nice bit of damage, hopefully, while they're stood there. Pulling my Quarrelers back now. This is where I probably should have kept at least 1 Quarreler unit back, so that they could be firing on these Pegasus Knights right now. We could have done a lot of damage there if I had them back, so I think I missed a trick there. Cavalry still creeping closer. Still not attacking yet though. The spearmen are coming in, they're charging in. These are the Longbeards with charge defense though, so the Bretonnian charge, not that they have much of one, isn't really going to do a lot to my dwarves. So the infantry is engaged now. The cavalry still not made its move. I'm not really sure what he's waiting for. I'm firing missiles on it now as well. He's got 2 units on the left here. He probably should have flanked around with one of them instead of doubling up. They're making the charge now. Slayers go they were fucking flying. So my Slayers are there. I don't think he knew they were there because they were hidden, so he may have just gone fire and forget on his cavalry and then didn't notice they got caught up on Slayers. He's got his Pegasus Knights into my artillery, which is completely pointless because I can't really use it at the moment anyway, other than against his archers, which are next to useless. So he really should have just charged into the back of my front lines, into the back of my Longbeards, because his spearmen are going to need help. They're not going to beat Longbeards. They need something, the cavalry or Pegasus Knights, to get into the back of them to get rid of them. I'm going to come over and try to get rid of Leon Kerr now. And the thing about generals on huge flying beasts is that they're a huge target. You can see I've got my Quarrelers and I think the organ gun as well firing at Leon Kerr. He's just going to get obliterated by all the missiles. It's the same problem we have with Kolek. Missile units will tear him up. My Slayers are still holding strong over here, holding back all these Grail Knights. Somehow, all 18 of them left. Not sure why he hasn't pulled his Grail Knights away. I guess he hasn't noticed. The men-at-arms though, the Polemen, the Spearmen, they're actually holding up okay against these Dwarves. These ones are getting fairly beat down actually. So the men-at-arms are pretty good. They've got a good bit of armor piercing, I think. And because they're doing okay, if they just got a Pegasus Knight charge in the back of my Longbeards there, that probably would have beaten them down enough to get rid of them. And the Pegasus Knights and Leon Kerr have just about had it. They are done fighting my great weapon Longbeards. And now the cavalry is finally about to come in. I don't know why he's left it so late. He's still got them stood there. Got my Longbeards chasing him down. There we go. Use your cavalry. Well done. Right as the rest of your army is dead. The Slayers are just about still standing. They look like they've been through it though. Bloodied and beaten. As you can see, I bought the Blood DLC finally. I gave in even though I despise having to pay £2 for something that should have been in the game anyway. But what you're going to do. So his cavalry is about to line up to charge me. He's still waiting. I don't know what he's planning with these. It's like he's scared of using his cavalry. He's brought Leon Kerr into my skirmishers now. Oh, one of them just got their head exploded. Leon Kerr probably isn't going to last too long. There you go, look. Finally charges them in the back. And when he does, that unit's pretty much gone because they were fighting 2 units. My organ guns, don't know what they're firing at. I think the cavalry, here they come. Finally going to get a charge in. But the Grail Knights are finally in the fight. Oh, Leon Kerr just went down and sliced him up as he was running away. What a cold bastard. He's clogged up all his cavalry there. Pegasus Knights are coming back in. With one pretty much on the front of the infantry line. This is probably more because Leon Kerr just died. And then my opponent admits defeat in a close victory. So, an okay battle there. I don't think the army setup was terribly unfair or anything. His army could have beaten mine, I think. Because he's got a lot of strong cavalry there. But it was a bit of a low killing affair, this one. Not too many kills going on either side. We both got quite a lot of men left. But as for the battle itself, I think my opponent did a bunch of good things. He just did them all really far apart. So he engaged with his infantry, and then later on he attacked in the back with the Pegasus Knights. And then later on he attacked with the Grail Knights. If he'd done all that stuff together at the same time, I would have struggled to deal with that. What I would have done is engaged with the infantry, and then straight away try and hit them in the back with Pegasus Knights. Get the Pegasus Knights out of there quickly, because they might get tied down. Maybe even try and get the Grail Knights through to hit them in the back. That would be even better. And that would have just helped out his spearmen a lot and given them a chance at beating the Longbeards. And then he could have just obliterated me with cavalry. Like I said earlier, you can just charge them through. I think you see me do it in one of my flanking guide, I think it is. Just charging into an enemy unit and then pulling through it and hitting another one. You can do this to the Dwarves because there's not a lot they can do to stop it because they don't have any cavalry of their own. It's a pretty big weakness for them at the moment. They need something that can kind of shield wall so that units can't just go flying through them. Of course you can put your units thicker, but then they're not as wide and there's a lot of issues with it. As for me, I probably would have been better off having my great weapon Longbeards up the front in the front line instead of at the back. As I said, I anticipated a charge. That's why I put all my Longbeards without great weapons along the front because they have the charge defense, but it didn't seem to make too much difference. And then maybe just using my skirmishers a little bit better would have helped. But either way, there we go. I think the only issue there was timing for my enemy. If he timed his stuff better, it probably would have been a bit of a struggle for me. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll have a 2v2 coming up next, and Beastmen are out tomorrow, so expect some stuff on that. I will see you in the future.